Hi everyone, it's Don from Don's Family Vacation, and I've done a lot of tip videos, I've done a lot of port videos, ship review videos, and it dawned on me I've never talked about the cruise line's private islands. So I thought I'd better do a series on the private islands because pretty much every cruise stops at one of these islands. So let's start this one off with the one that's won the award for the best island for a cruise line 4 of the last 5 years. So yeah, but it's also one of the more expensive cruise lines. But let's see what they have to offer at Castaway Cay from the Disney Cruise Line. And we're going to talk about Castaway Cay right after this. So Castaway Cay, I know a lot of people have a hard time figuring out what it's called. Is it Castaway Cay or Castaway Cay? But it is pronounced Castaway Cay according to the Disney representative that did my training. So I'm going to go with them. So at Castaway Cay, it's a 3-mile private island that only Disney cruise ships go to. So you're not going to be able to share this with other cruise lines sharing the same port. So right now, you know that if every ship showed up there at the same time, there'd only be 4 ships, and it's a 3-mile island, so it has lots of room out there for everything. One of the benefits of Castaway Cay is that the ship docks right on the island. There's no tender boating in and things like that, like on some of the other private islands you actually have to do. So it's great to be able to get off the ship. It's close to everything, and if you wanted to go back for lunch, you could go back on the ship for lunch and go back to Castaway Cay afterwards. But you don't have to, because there are places to eat on Castaway Cay that are also included in the price of your cruise. So it's not like a regular shore excursion where you'd have to pay for your dining once you're off the ship. There are actually 3 different beaches. The very first one you come to, which is the closest one to the dock area, is the family beach area. And as you can expect, it's a family beach area. It's opened to everyone. And this is the place you're going to find the most activities to do, because most people are on a Disney cruise, have kids, so this is the area that they tend to be. And it's also very convenient because it's so close to the dock. Then slightly farther away, you have the teen beach, which is more of an area where there's no little children running around. So the teens are a little more able to play like volleyball and basketball and throw frisbees around, things like that. So there's no fear of hitting a 3 or a 4-year-old who's just playing in the sand that they didn't happen to notice. So that's a nice place for the teens to go. And then, just like on the cruise ships, Disney has their own adult area, while on Castaway Cay they have Serenity Bay, which is the adult-only area, and it's the furthest location away. So some of the bonus points of that is, even if you don't have any kids, a lot of people just stop at the first beach they come to. They think this is where we're going. But if you continue on to Serenity Bay, the adult-only area, there's far less people there, and it's a much quieter, much more relaxing place to just lounge on the beach and soak up some suns and have a cocktail or two. But be warned, there's not an awful lot to do on that beach. Almost everything is down to where the family area is. As I was mentioning earlier, they have dining that's included on the ship, and 2 of the places are close to the family beach, and one is angled a little bit more towards the teen beach, and that's Cookie's Barbecue and Cookie's 2. So they really thought hard on those names for those ones. And then Serenity Bay has their own Serenity Bay Barbecue for the adult only. And the one thing also I'm going to give you a hint on Serenity Bay Barbecue sometimes has more dining options than the other ones will, depending on the amount of food that's kind of on the ship and how much is leaving the kitchens and they need to get rid of it. Sometimes they'll offer it up at Castaway Cay at the adult-only Serenity Bay eating area, and it has been known to even have lobster there. Now, what can you eat? You're going to have things, it's a barbecue. You get hamburgers, hot dogs, you get salads, you're going to get ribs and fries and things like that. So you're going to be able to find comfort food that every kid usually eats. So there's no problem with dining and at no cost extra to you. Some of the activities that are there to do at the family area is the Pelican Plunge, which is a huge kind of little port area out in the water that dumps buckets of water down on kids. It's a splash zone area. It's like a little miniature water park out there for them, and the kids just have a ball splashing around. And then for the younger kids, there's Spring a Leak play area that has a whole bunch of little areas to run around and splash, and it's not quite as deep water, so you don't have to be as concerned about watching your kid in that little area, but do keep an eye on them, please, because there are counselors and everything around, but just like any other pool, you're responsible for your kid wherever you are. If you want to do a few more water activities like rent a water trike, or take a catamaran ride, or go snorkeling or diving or anything like that, you can head to Marge's Barges or Sea Charter's Deck. That's where you can rent all the water equipment and things like that you need. You can find all kinds of water equipment out there, from pedal boats to like I said, catamarans, to standalone surfboards, surf sails, and things like that. So there's all kinds of things to do there. Those do all cost a little extra, and they start at about $15 an hour for like the tricycles and things like that. You could also rent bikes to tour the island, because as we all know, it's Disney. So although they don't throw it in your face everywhere you go, they got a nice balance between a regular cruise island and little Disney touches, or Easter eggs, if you will, around the area. It's fun to get on a bike and just explore and come across things that you wouldn't have seen that are Disney related if you were just stuck on the beaches. You can also rent little shovels and pails for your kids to play, or buy them actually, the pails and things like that to play and make sandcastles in the beach. You could rent a snorkel and fins to go into the snorkeling lagoon, which is technically free, but you need that equipment to go in there. You can't just swim in that area, and that includes the vest that's on there. Now you can bring your own snorkel and goggles and your own fins and things like that, and if you do, they usually give you the vest and it doesn't cost you anything. But a lot of people figure, I don't want to pack that kind of stuff in my suitcase, so they'll just spend the $15, $20 to rent the equipment when they're there. Also, when you're snorkeling, don't only look for the fish, but look out for the Easter eggs of Disney in the water as well, including a Mickey that's hidden down there that is probably photographed more than almost any other thing out there. You can also rent buy waterproof cameras in the gift shops there, and these are disposable ones, so you can purchase them, go in the water, take some pictures, and get them developed, and they are waterproof. So if you don't have a GoPro or a camera that's good in the water, heck, even my Galaxy S7 now is good into 5 feet of water, 5 meters of water, so I can just take my phone in if I wanted to, and you can too if you have that kind of phone. But make sure it's waterproof before you do, otherwise it's going to be an expensive cruise to replace your phone. And of course, Disney wouldn't be Disney if they didn't have some souvenir shops on the island. So there's a couple souvenir shops on there. You can find everything that has design Castaway Cay merchandise and regular Disney merchandise as well. So if you feel like picking up some souvenirs and island-only souvenirs, you can find it right there on the island. Another thing, like most private islands for the cruise lines now have their own Stingray excursion, if you will, and they have a light Stingray adventure there that you'd be surrounded by about 20, 30 stingrays. And if you've ever been to Stingray City in the Cayman Islands, this is kind of a light version of that, and it's not as expensive as Stingray City is usually, but it's more private, it's more intimate, and you don't quite feel as crowded when you're out there because it's a limited amount of people allowed to go at a time. So if you want to see stingrays and you're out there, give the Stingray Adventure a time. And if you want some beverages while you're on board, they actually have 4 bars on the island all around the beaches, and they're actually reasonably priced for a cruise line bar. You can often find drinks around the $5.50 to $6 range, which is quite cheap for a cruise line bar. And lastly, one of the only things again that you can find on a Disney cruise or a Disney island are Disney characters. And there are characters who wander around all throughout the day, and there's all kinds of characters, and they're in their beach gear. You'll see Goofy in the old time one-piece swimsuit and things like that. Donald's walking around in his sailor suit. So it's themed for the beach, and that is a film and a camera opportunity that you usually don't get anywhere else at any other Disney area. And keep in mind, your pictures will probably end up turning out even better taking the meet and greets on the island than you would on the ship, because you have natural sunlight and natural light out there, which automatically make for better pictures than a darker cruise ship. So keep that in mind as well. If you want to get meet and greet pictures, make sure you try and get some when you're on the island. So there you have Castaway Cay, and it's, like I said, one of the top rated private islands for the cruise lines out there. It's limited capacity because they only allow Disney product to be there and Disney ships to be there. It's a large area, and there's plenty to do for the kids, and adults have their adult only area. So it's Disney all over without throwing it in your face. So it's one of the best islands out there. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos and more island reviews as well besides the ship tips, please hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a great and a safe vacation.